All right, everybody, say hi to Riggs. He wants to hang out today. And I'm checking in with you because I'm just coming off of a 2-day long fast. I haven't eaten food in over 48 hours, and by the time I do eat food, it'll be about 56 hours. And I'm doing this for a few reasons, but it brought up a concept to mind that I wanted to share with everybody because something that I see a lot in the comments and that I hear a lot from, you know, people I know, associations, friends, family, is that I could never do that, right? You hear that a lot. I can never fast. I can never skip a meal or two, right? I can never give up food for an entire day. Well, I understand your feeling of that, but what about when that happens, right? If you're prepping for an SHTF type scenario, and SHTF happens, and right now while things are good and comfortable, you're saying, I could never go without food for a day. How are you going to do it then? Right? And I know prepping is supposed to make it so we won't have to. And of course, that's the goal. But what if a situation occurs where suddenly you have to? Are you just going to quit or are you going to be able to do it? And if you could do it then in a time of emergency or dire need, why could you not have the willpower to do it now? And that's something that I think we need to be reminded of from time to time. And that's why I'm actually doing this fast right now. Now, as always, I gotta thank Midway USA for supporting the channel and supporting what I do here. And of course, this video is not really gonna have anything gear related or anything like that, but they still support what I do, which makes me feel like they support the preparedness community as a whole. So I really appreciate what they do. Either way, I haven't eaten in a long time. And I will say that I'm a little sluggish. I'm a little ornery. I might not have the nicest temper right now, but I also can tell you that I'm still doing things. I was still able to get work done today. I'm still able to go out on the property and get some stuff done. I'm still out here with, well, this dog. The other dogs are inside because the coonhound likes to run off whenever he catches a scent. So Rigby here, he's pretty chill, right, Riggs? So either way though, I wanted to find out if I could fast, right? I wanted to find out if I could do it. And I've fasted in the past, but not for 2 days straight, at least not consciously, right? If I was sick or something like that and I just forgot to eat, that's a little bit different. This is me consciously deciding to not eat and then avoiding the fact that I have plenty of food everywhere I look. And it's been a little difficult, but I mean, here I am, I'm fine, right? And I'm gonna get through the rest of the night and then we'll be good to go. So what this taught me was a few things. One, I could still accomplish tasks and goals without eating for a couple of days if need be. Two, my body won't react so horrendously to it that I can't operate at all and I won't have energy or be able to, lift something heavy or whatever it is. Like I can still get things done. Three, I could probably do this longer. Like that's something else I learned. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I don't want to be doing this necessarily in the sense of like enjoying it. It's an experiment. And I could go longer. I really could. I could just probably not eat tomorrow too if I decided to. But I'm not trying to not eat. Like I don't have an eating disorder, right? I'm just trying to figure out how things would look if I just didn't have any food for a couple of days. And so I'm not saying you should do this. In fact, I'm definitely not saying that because I am not a nutritional expert or anything like that. And somebody not eating for a day could have dire consequences based on their current health and conditions. So obviously, I'm not telling anyone to do what I'm doing. I'm trying to put this in the frame of anything you decide you can't do. Oh, you're going to run off on me now? Go ahead, bud. You're good. Anything you decide you can't do now, I don't know how you expect to be able to do it then. How do you expect to be able to do it during an emergency, right? Oh, you just wanted more camera time. I see how this works. Sit down, bud. You're fine. You can chill. You're good. He gets a little anxious. He's a border collie Queensland heeler mix, so things get a little weird sometimes. There's so much that I hear people refer this concept to, right? I could never pack up and move. I could never leave my hometown. I could never save up enough money to do X, Y, or Z. I could never open a business or run a business. I could never go back to school. I could never, the list just goes on and on and on. One of the big ones is I could never afford that. I don't personally like that type of discussion because I feel like it's very defeatist, but I understand why people feel that way. But I just don't think At times, and I'm not referring to the affordability aspect of anything, but I'm saying in general, that mindset, right, of I could never do that. I just don't think you're either trying hard enough or you're willing to sacrifice in order to accomplish that goal. I know that fasting for a couple of days isn't really going to accomplish anything per se. Like I said, just wanted to see how it would go because I'm a weirdo, and part of prepping is being paranoid about what if I don't have any food? And now I know what would happen if I didn't have any food. I'd be fine for at least a couple of days. But I feel like saying I couldn't ever do that is just already admitting defeat, and then assuming that you could do that during a large scale, long term emergency crisis is a plan for failure. The whole rise to the occasion scenario just isn't reality, right? People don't generally improve when the world around them degrades. It's quite the opposite in most cases. And when you see, let's say, like foreign conflict and stuff like that that's happening right now, well, you have to remember that the people who are involved with the conflict directly still have the logistics and support of a military system, right? But the people on the ground, the civilian population, the collateral damage in many ways, don't benefit from that the same way. And you can see lots of examples of that right now where that suffering is immediate and, distraughtful. So, if bad things happen, you need to have a mindset of I could do that if I had to, right? And sometimes putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation is a good way to verify if that's true or not. And I know this sounds silly, right? Like, oh, are you bragging about not eating for 2 days? Like, no, I'm not bragging about it. I'm just trying to bring this thought process to light because it's something I pondered about while trying to avoid the thought of eating, right? So I think that you need to have a mindset of I could do that if I needed to. And then by doing some experiments that put yourself into an uncomfortable situation, you might actually have more confidence in that statement. It's just like taking a training course in first aid or firearms training or something along those lines. Anything that might make you uncomfortable or get you out of your comfort zone. Well, you now feel like maybe I could do that if that time ever came to where those skills became more important, right? What would you do if someone got a major laceration on their leg and were bleeding out right in front of you, and you had never taken a first aid class before, and you had never watched any videos on first aid or tried to do any level of learning regarding first aid, but you had a first aid kit, right? What would you do in that situation? You probably wouldn't know what to do, and you most likely would just panic, and then likely if you tried to apply aid of any kind, it would be done inappropriately, right? Or improperly. There's just a lot more to it than just having a Band-Aid, right? And I think that's kind of a good analogy of the mindset of like, I could never do that, existing currently right now for a lot of people who have things like first aid kits but don't know what to do with them, right? So I just want to have this conversation because I don't know. I can't afford to show you guys super cool new homestead preps every single week. I'm just not in that position right now. Eventually, I'll be like, hey, check out my Bobcat or check out my new tractor. But that's still in the works. So, and since I don't have any cool new bunkers or water reservoirs or livestock to show off, one of my strong suits, I guess, is something maybe self-identified, but hey, whatever. I know myself pretty decently well anyway, is thought-provoking concepts. And I run them through my mind, so I assume others are too, and putting them out here like this just might give somebody something worth thinking about. So, hopefully that made sense. And honestly, I'm going to watch this video back and be like, did I even make a point? Because I'm on 2 days without food right now, and I definitely feel like a weirdo. I might look like one too. So there's a few things working against me in that regard right now. But hey, I'm outside. I got a dog with me. Riggs, come back over here. He didn't run off. I swear he likes me. He's not that shy. But I'm outside with a dog. I mean, I can't really complain too much. It's just food.